Out to the show this morning. You got the man right here. No need for no introduction. Yeah, and to my immediate left, you got Mighty Mouse. All the way down there to the right, you know who it is. Coco Beware. And right here to my immediate right, you got Big Walt, a.k.a. Shut Your Mouth Before I Do Something to You, boy.
Debo.
Yeah, Big A side.
Big A side.
Big A side, hogging up the lane. There it is right there. Yeah, he did. And that means the boys is on the way.
Hey.
Now you going oh, white chocolate's back there?
Not white chocolate.
Behind the camera. That's our little brother, white chocolate back there. So yeah, good morning to all. We had a great week. Did you want to say something?
No,
I thought you had wanted me.
No,
you do it?
hey, you did a good job.
You want me to do it?
Okay. Hey, I couldn't did better than that.
Next time we need to show some love.
My boy said
The Steve
white
Harvey
chocolate.
type of way.
Oh yeah, you want me to hit the
Show some love.
He hails from College Hill.
Yeah.
He was once voted REA's sexiest man. He's been growing his hair since the age of 12. Show some love for Donald Kelly. Is that what you wanted?
That's what I wanted.
Donald Kelly.
Hey, that way.
Donnie
Just like
Donald.
Yeah.
Yeah, that way.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Hey, man, are y'all watching the new spinoff, the new Power
Yeah.
about Tommy?
Tommy.
Wait a minute. Listen, I've been on the road. Didn't watch it. I'm going to watch it today.
So have you finished watching the Tyreek version?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you watched the end of the last episode?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I hope so.
Mess it up for him.
Huh?
Mess it up for him.
Next, I forgot.
He'd do it to you.
But when people watch movies and tell me about it, you can tell me the whole movie.
I'm still going to watch
It
it.
don't matter to me.
Oh, it matters to me.
Let's just say Tommy is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, you can tell.
I ain't never watched
I don't
an
think people
episode of
like.
Power.
Well, you're missing out. I don't think people like how things set up, but you got to let it set up in order to.
Yeah. You
Enjoy
got
it.
to.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's set up. The pilot's always going to be a little slower than.
As it should.
But Tommy's wasn't.
What did you say, Corey?
The Power Force wasn't slow. Off the top, it came out hot. Off the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
Now they already setting up for Lorenzo, O-Dog, to have his little spinoff.
As he should.
Yes.
We need that side. 50 Cent is.
Making money.
He is making money. He's a genius. And
Did you see how much he's making off of these?
No.
180 million is his contract with Stars.
So 50
Makes
on,
sense.
50 on there, too?
No.
he was on that last episode of Power.
Yeah.
Whenever
Yeah,
Tariq seen him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing
Well,
about
what
that.
is wrong with you, brother? What are you watching? Knots Landing?
Yes.
Nah, I'm in there. Man.
Like he almost got mad at Corey, man.
Hey, he know how to answer that.
Well, I'm in on my game. I don't have time to watch no shows.
Oh, you Call of Duty.
While y'all watching shows, I'm putting a show on.
Hey,
With your 13-year-old
guess
neighbor.
What? He ain't when he playing Eric though. Not Eric. Donovan.
He played
He's
Donovan
on there
now?
with his 13-year-old neighbor. Go to bed. I'm killing you.
Hogging the game for your kids.
How do you like
Nah,
that?
they got their
Now you're
own.
grounded.
We don't share no consoles in my house because they can't touch mine.
See, I don't do sharing either. No, you got.
I
your
don't
own.
even own a console anymore.
You got your own.
Yeah, you got your own. Don't come in here and touch mine.
Yeah, don't come in and mess with
If
mine.
you touch mine, I'm gonna touch you. Binkum, 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 binkum. You heard me?
These two guys
City
obviously
back.
have money. We have several consoles. In my place, since people know where I stay at, I don't have one.
No, it's
So
like,
don't break
it's like
in.
this. Either buy the kids a console, or my wife gonna have to pay my bill from them touching mine. I just told you.
I hope they tear it up.
I wish they
Corey,
would.
don't wish that on them kids, man. I see it in his eyes. He is not playing.
I'm not playing.
The baby, too.
Hey,
It's going to be baby on baby.
too.
Hey, Hub. Hey, you right. You have been hiding since down south, but hey, it's still Cowboy Nation, baby.
Oh, that's right. He ain't that. I forgot. He just like to stir the pot. stir on
Hey,
down
it still is Cowboy Nation, baby.
Hub ain't been
Call
high.
him Petty D.
Hub is not Hub is not your average Cowboy fan. Hub is a truth teller. I will give it to him. He is not a hater. So, I think I'm gonna start individualizing my Cowboy hate. It is not directed at Jerry Hubbard. He is a truth teller when it comes to his Cowboys, and he is not overzealous.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you need to take that and spend it on yourself.
Absolutely. Because you ever seen that commercial? Not that commercial, the YouTube thing where that dude had that tea and bust that man in the eye? Y'all want to see it again? Yeah. Y'all want to see it again?
Yep.
About to get a brisket.
Not a brisk tea.
Like,
Yeah.
man, on today's show, man, of course, every now and then we'll do, a specific topic on an issue that I feel like needs to be discussed more and more, and not, once a year or once every 2 years, or some issues don't be discussed at all. We don't talk about mental health, several times. I think that's a topic that needs to be discussed on a frequent basis, not just because I don't think a lot of people understands the lane those people have to deal with.
Right.
So today I want to talk about, the life struggle of our youth, and for somebody to even start commenting about sports, there are things in life that's bigger than sports. You have kids. A lot of kids participate in sports, but soon they walk across their stage, 90% of them is done with them.
Yeah.
And their life goes on, so therefore they can make without sports.
Amen.
So everything is not about sports. I know some people probably believe in that sports is all. What's the say they say in all? What they say?
Be all.
Yeah.
Be all.
And it's not. There's other avenues and lanes a kid can get into or an adult can get into. Like, I personally even though I love Miami, if Miami didn't exist, I'll be fine.
Me too.
Yep.
Because there's more to life than that. But man, I just wanted to have a little show about our youth and the lifestyle that they be having to conquer. And it be a long road and it be a tough one. I don't necessarily believe, a lot of people put the time or even having the wants to get in the depth of our youth and try to understand like the reason behind some of the actions that they may have. It's the easiest thing to do is label a kid and to push them to the side and write them off. It takes a strong individual to want to bring that kid in and figure something out. Like, hey, what's up with this kid? I know he can be better. That's not what we get these days.
Right.
It's kind of sort of thing, if it's not our kid, ain't nobody worrying about it. And I believe that's what, as a community, that we got to get out of there. If it's not our kid, we're not going to worry about it. And we got to act like that is our kid and try to, see him or see her through whatever they're going through. Me and Trey, we were chopping up yesterday and had like a little deep conversation about some of this type stuff. And last week, I had to deal with an issue with a kid and a parent, and it was like the hardest conversation that I didn't have to have with some people outside of my family members. And the kid didn't. There was a reason behind this kid actions, but nobody was willing to get to the bottom of it. And see, a lot of time when you talk to youth, a lot of people either want to talk at them or fuss at them, but they never want to listen. And sometimes these kids, they only need somebody that's going to give them an ear and to listen, let them vent. Don't always having to talk down or try to tell them like their path on their steps and what they should take. And sometimes just listening can help. Even an adult, it ain't got necessarily be no kid.
Right.
Even the adults need somebody just to listen. and I don't think nobody likes to listen these days. I think everybody want to form an opinion and want to tell somebody on how they should be living their life step by step versus just listening. Some people got life figured out. But some people still need somebody to listen. But anyhow, that conversation I had one day last week with the parent and the kid, I had to keep my composure because I almost broke down and cried because he was sharing some things with his parent that he's never shared, and it was deep, and he needed to say what he had to say. He like all these years, this young man been holding his in, and for him to be able to say what he said, what he said, that was released. That was something off his back that he got out, and it was tough. It was when I say it was tough, it was real tough. But I had asked him. I said, so because a lot of the adult males, when they say something to him, he don't take it very well. So I asked a question. I said, so why do you lash out like that? And I said, because for one, I say some things to you that's like way overline, and you deal with it. And I don't get no lift back. You take it. And he said, because I know you care about me. But he said, but with everybody else, he said, I don't know how to react. I never had a male figure in my life to where I was having to learn how to deal with a man telling me something in a way of, I guess, to where they raising their voice. So now that he's older, he don't know how to take it. And and for him to say that, like, it kind of like, whoa, okay, well, that is some of the things that that as people we don't even think about. So that's why I feel like these discussions on the kids' lifestyle is important to discuss, and so we can try to figure out a better way of having an understanding of our youth, and not always trying to criticize them for whatever behavior they may be having at that moment, and and get to the bottom of why he or she is acting the way they act.
We don't understand it most times ourselves. We haven't been in those situations, and we think, oh, these kids are just bad, and I think we throw it off as just a child is bad versus understanding that everybody didn't have a lifestyle like we did.
Right.
I grew up in the house of both of my parents. I don't know what it's like to be hungry.
Right.
I'm not sure what it's like to not get a Christmas gift. I don't know what it's like to not feel protected by my father. I don't know what it's like to not have running water. I don't know what it's like to go to school without all of my necessities.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't have. I don't have that story like a lot of people think most black males have.
Yeah.
But what I do is I do understand that there are those with that story. And we as adults can mess up a child by our reaction to their actions versus what Donnie just said, sitting and listening. And listening without speaking, listening to understand, and hopefully listening to help, and not listening to take advantage of.
Right. Even if listening hurts, even if listening is the truth, we got to learn to listen. I'm a father, so I can say that.
That first part, can you say it again?
Even when listening hurts.
God.
Because, but just because it's a child, it doesn't mean they're not telling the truth.
Right.
When it comes to our reactions as parents, we gotta learn to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what have we done for this child? Have we given this child a safe place? Have we given them created a space so they can express and tell you what they're feeling and what's going on? Because we grew up a certain way doesn't mean times have changed. Children have changed. And what they're dealing with, we do feel that we have the answer to their problem, but a lot of times we really don't have the answer.
To me,
we are the problem.
To me, one like off of what Donnie said is, and I mean, a lot of people might not. I get it, but listening without reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, sometimes the smallest like with my boys, when my oldest boy tell me something, he's looking for my first reaction. If my first if my first reaction comes off bad, he done. He's not gonna tell me nothing else. He's not gonna say nothing else. And then I gotta watch him walk around and try to, what's wrong you out of him. You know what I mean? And it's not always about a good living situation either. People can live in a nice house and have both parents and eat every day and have everything they need and still have some of the worst life struggles. Like that's true. I think people always think that a child has to come from a bad, down background to have life struggles. Life struggles, I mean, just like Donnie was saying earlier when we used to talk about mental health, that just wasn't for people that was here. Man, that's all sections and areas. You can have all your family. They can tell you they love you every day, but that's not going to stop your life struggles. To me.
Just found out I got a family member who has had a chemical imbalance their entire life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just found it out now.
That's hard, man.
At the age of 43.
Right. Because you don't know. So, I mean, as parents, there's information that, people have always said, you be tough, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. I'm gonna beat you if you don't straighten up, not knowing that something inwardly is happening.
That's a lot of toxic masculinity
that
comes from, and I don't like to use.
I got that too. I got that toxic.
So I'll tell you,
it's bad.
Do you know that a man comes in many different forms?
Oh yeah.
A lot of us look at some men and he's a librarian. He's not, or he fixes cars. He must be, or I don't know about cars.
Right.
Don't mean I'm not a man.
Yeah.
I'll take it to a man that does know. See, I don't know what to tell you.
Take a 6-year-old child that's crying. Do you know that's an expression of trauma? Because they don't know how to speak on what they're dealing with. And that's with adults too. When there's tears and there's hurt, there's pain, that's an expression of trauma. With these kids, it's an expression of trauma because they don't know how to tell you in their way. And you're fussing and they crying, they don't know what to say. But even if they're talking, it might sound stupid to an adult, right?
Right.
But in their mind, in their understanding, this is how they see it. Now, how you take that information and guide that child. I swear, I'm a Bible head. I'm sorry, guys, but my Bible says to train up the child in the way they should go. So that when they're old enough, they won't depart from it. But that means to me, this child is expressing how he feels. You can't. Somebody said earlier, you can't throw your system in there and act like it's. You could throw some of it, but you got to take what they're giving you,
right,
and lead from that point and open that door up because you got to walk. So when that door does open, they'll open that door. That door is always unlocked, but they'll open that door and come in when they're ready. But you have to let that child express from where they are. I had to learn this as a father, man.
Right.
Because I was like you in the beginning. I was a hard guy. I'm like, it's my way or no way. You know what I'm saying? But
and see, my things that I got, well, I say used to, but I still got bad, is that telling my kids that, well, you don't got to pay no bills. All you got to do is go to school. That's it. You go to school, get your lesson, come home. You don't you don't have to take care of any serious things, but just like kind of like Corey said, at whatever age they are, something that's not serious to us is very serious to them. And like what they always tell a kid, you got to get respect to get or give respect to get it. I think that go both ways.
It absolutely does.
Now hold on now to an extent because a kid is still a child. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you still got to respect everything with a pulse. Pretty much, that's what I say. I mean, you still got to respect people. And shoot, I just try not to be my child's first bully.
No, I'm gonna say this though. You know, far as with everybody struggles. Yeah, you got the people who live in the big fancy houses. Those kids struggle too. But there are different levels and different types of struggles too.
Right.
You know, somebody who pretty much getting spoon fed, their struggles is not going to be as near as severe as somebody who's not. Somebody who's in a 5,000 square foot house, their struggle to them could be because my iPhone charge is not working. Somebody from where I used to come from, that their struggle may be because the cord on the heater's not working, so they're going to see some wrappers of themselves some covers.
Right.
Because that's what now they don't have no heat in the house.
Right.
Somebody in a 5,000 square foot house, they're struggling because they don't have the right type of Pop-Tart. But guess what? Some people from where other environments, guess what? We got to divide that Pop-Tart amongst 5 kids.
Yeah.
So the struggle is everybody has a struggle, but everybody's struggle is not the same. And it be obvious. Again, you can just go into neighborhoods, and you can witness. You don't have to ask a kid to open his mouth and ask them. You can visualize it and see.
Right.
So to me, that everybody has their own thing. Everybody struggles. Like you said, you can have a 2-parent home, but rest assured, like where your environment is, those people struggle. Some people struggle is self inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I don't necessarily care about that struggle because you can stop it whenever you feel like it. Some kids struggle, they don't have no say in it.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of struggle, and that's a struggle that I want to talk about.
Yeah. And that falls to the point about what you were saying. Those kids, look, I'll say I grew up like the opposite of you, Derek. I know it wasn't. I don't know. Not to have water for food for days. Mother died at 24. So I get it. Raised by great-grandparents, bounce in and out. So I get the decision, Donnie, as a kid, as these kids, I can relate to those were not my decisions, right?
Mm-mm.
I was a victim of those decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And so what this is, these kids are victims of bad decisions that are made by grown people.
Nope. You can't say
at some points they are. I mean, if I'm a 7-8-year-old,
everybody that's in poverty is not based off a bad decision.
It's based off a decision.
Not necessarily. Not a decision. Like everybody is in poverty. It's not based off a decision they made that was wrong.
No, I take the word bad back, but it was a decision.
So, no, you
I get where both of y'all coming from though.
Because yeah, like all this, you control your life, you can spend it. Yeah, some people already had 5 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, that too.
Right.
So we can't act like that don't play a part. Everybody don't have the same opportunities everybody else do.
What do we call opportunities?
And I don't necessarily care. Everybody say, well, you get to this point where you decide this and that other. Still, you so far behind, that really doesn't even matter. Some people are a product of their environment.
True.
You know, some people think that's just some slogan people say. No, that's the truth.
True.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people, good people, they didn't make no wrong decision, and yet they still ain't figured life out yet because they just so far behind because the hand they was dealt.
So they got dealt that shitty hand.
So
excuse me.
That happens. So what I call a struggle is not having the final things. When I talk about decisions, I talk about if there are 5 or 6 kids in the house, and you don't have enough food to provide. Well, I feel like if there's 5 or 6, and it could be where the money's tight, but those kids are still. It's not their fault that they have 5 or 6 brothers.
But I mean, see that again, you need to take a ride in the hood then, because I knew people growing up that he was the only child, she was the only child. So what you just said,
I was speaking to the neck.
it didn't factor in
Yeah.
then.
Well, I'm
That was
speaking
one
to
child.
yeah. Well, we still what I see as decisions, and a kid is like it's not. I grew up with my great grandparents. My grandfather couldn't read. My grandmother was a maid. I grew up with a wood stove and a fan in the window. Didn't have cable TV. Didn't have any of that. I ate there. I go to a different place in my life. I stayed with my dad. Sometimes didn't have food, didn't have water. So none of them decisions. I was better off. I enjoyed living with my great grandmother because even though we had a wood stove and heater in 3, 6, and 12, I knew I was gonna eat.
3, 6, and 12.
I knew I was gonna buy. So I think we sometimes take decisions or where we live and environments where we live. It's not about the environment where you live. For me, it's about the fact that if I'm eating and I have clothes on my back, it's not a struggle. I didn't recognize struggle as a kid. I didn't learn struggle until I got older. Until I didn't realize when I flipped the switch on when I came to the house, there was no heat or water on.
I mean, for some kids, that's normal.
That was
That
was for me.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, as a parent, if I took that same mindset when I got at the age I am now, and I allowed that to be my story, I had to change. I had to make sure I provided for my kids the way I.
Whatever you went through or whatever your struggle was, did it make you the man that you are today?
Yeah. Yep.
Something that you went through.
Yep.
Something that you went through. Because we have, Corey called yesterday. He knew a space that I was in yesterday, which was one heck of a space where I'd probably been crying for 2 hours. And I went through my phone looking at who I could call. I didn't want to call anybody.
Right.
I was just like, you know what I said to myself? You a man. Deal with it.
That's what I tell myself all the
Other
time.
people are dealing with stuff too.
Yep.
You can't fold right now.
Nah.
You did. And what Corey do? Pick up the phone and call. The stuff that you deal with. I was scrolling a moment ago because I wanted to find a post from a man who is a little younger than I am, but has an influence on my life because I follow him in certain areas. And he put it on social media, so I would say he wouldn't mind me saying it. I call him John. He said, I'll never forget the time a coach at Texas High found out I was sleeping in the field house. I would leave my aunt's house at 3 a.m. so no one would see me walking to school. His eyes watered when I told him what happened as he noticed the clothes I had on were too big due to them belonging to my aunt's boyfriend at the time. He even asked if he needed to adopt me. There was a point in my life where I had to make a choice, leave home or continue being abused. Sad to say, I'm thankful for the lessons of it all, and I was still obedient to my mother. Football didn't need me, but I needed it. Right. Now, he went on to college to play football at Wichita Baptist. He was he had some bad choices he made in life, but he's got this deal that he had. It's a family redemption records, and I went back to that because as you were talking, I started thinking like I know I saw something on social media the other day from a grown man who don't run from no, but it made him. His hashtag said, "That's why I go so hard."
Yeah. Right. That's why.
It's what he dealt with growing up.
Right.
A kid sleeping in the field house. You left at 3 a.m. just to walk to school, so you get a little rest before school.
Listen.
Now your coach, that's where he finds you at?
Man, my story is, Dick, I picked the kid up who was living in the field house. Brought him to my house. My daddy didn't understand, but I understood that kid, and he didn't need to be living in no field house.
Right. We don't have problem children, as my father used to say. We have children with problems.
Children with problems.
And see, we were just saying, make the wrong choices. You make the wrong choices. Sometimes the two choices, that mean you have options. And for certain people, certain options is not obligated or the same options. Every person don't have the same option to choose from.
They do not.
You can have the same option, guess what? And you choose either one of them, guess what? You ain't get nowhere in life.
Yeah.
Because the options that you have to choose from, it's not gonna like everybody else's options. Like this world we live in, everybody's not on the same playing field.
No.
So what you saying is the option is low or lower?
No, what I'm saying, no, I keep hearing the word choices. The choices. Every choice that somebody has, so if I make a choice to do this, I make a choice to do this. I didn't go left or right. It's gonna lead me to the same place. Because everybody don't have the same type of choice to choose from.
Right.
Let's face it, every kid doesn't have the same choice that he can the same category where he can go choose this choice. It's gonna line him up for this. Every kid doesn't have that.
Well, I ain't saying the choice is gonna lead you to this great outcome.
Right.
I ain't
But
saying
there
the
is
choice is
an
gonna lead
outcome.
you to prosperity or wealth. That definitely ain't where I'm at. But that choice just might lead you to living 2 extra days with food. That choice might, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That choice might lead you to, man, all right, at least we got lights for another week.
Right.
For just another week.
Right.
That's why I said, is it low or lower?
I get
Is
you
that-
saying, yeah.
because it's like, yo, because I'm still going to be low.
Right.
But am I lower? Yo, I'll take low.
Shoot,
I'll take low all day.
I done had a left and right before many a times in my life, and they were both gonna be bad consequence. Not saying something bad like I was doing, just a choice, you know. And I was just like, well, this gonna be the consequence if I go here, and this gonna be the consequence here. Which one can I deal with the longest? as far as a
What can I
decision
deal
I
with the
make.
long- that's
well,
right.
seriously, like what
What
decision-
holds off that result longer?
What can I weigh on my shoulders as far as doing
I
this?
think-
And this
Okay,
as a
I'm
kid.
gonna give you an example. But when I say kids don't have the same choices, I can be an older kid, and I got a little brother, and I come home from my older brother does, from my younger brother does. There's a pot of food on the stove, and it's really just enough for me to eat. I have 2 choices: either eat and get my belly full, or eat just enough so my little brother can eat. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody don't have the same choices.
Yeah, I guess
Some
you're
people can go in the kitchen and eat up, and guess what? And there's plenty more
To there.
for
Yeah.
somebody else to
Right.
eat up.
Right.
Those are the type of choices that I'm talking about.
And that's why my parents was mad when I threw food away.
and see
That part.
and see, but that's some of the struggle some of our youth have to go through that nobody knows about. Because a lot of kids, it's not broadcasting that, man, I really didn't eat today.
Yeah.
Because for one, it's embarrassing, and you know,
Right.
and a lot of time we get to the point where again, I had said something a while back, and I said, somebody's struggle shouldn't be anybody's entertainment. People will use that as entertainment, especially as that they want to poke fun at somebody didn't eat.
So we went to the Stop the Violence rally. Did I call you about that? That night it was at a church on Temple number 34, I think that's what it was. And there was a kid there who didn't quite understand what he was saying. And they were talking about how the kids at their school have fights early in the morning. And when he said it, this is a room full of adults, dignitaries in the city officials, just city workers. When he stood on the stage in front of everybody, he said, "Who's angry at 7 a.m.? Who's angry enough to fight?" And do you know, I watched an entire room of adults laugh. They didn't get it. And I'm sitting there watching this going, y'all don't even understand. I can tell you who's angry at 7 a.m. Somebody who toilet don't flush at home. They got to go get a bucket of water
Put it in.
from next door just to get the toilet. That's who's angry. Somebody whose last meal was at noon yesterday
Yeah.
before they left school. That's who's angry at 7 a.m. Somebody who had to fight off an uncle all night long from touching him. That's who. You would be angry at 7 a.m. too.
I'm getting angry when you just talking like that.
I watched city officials. I'm not the one to talk to whenever you want the truth. I'm not
So,
him.
kids not eating, number one, is a huge issue. And I think we sitting here talking about it, and people listening, people watching, and people who are not on live maybe got their phone backed out on Facebook. We are the solution to children not eating. I don't care how bad the house is. We are the solution to fixing problems. Everybody watching. We can fix problems just like that. We can kids being hungry. We can buy groceries just like that. All of us, to help people. Kids should not be going without. Kids who are should not be going. I don't care what the parents going through. I don't care if the parents if you got 10 kids at home. We are the solution to these problems. If we can talk about them, we can be answers.
The guy that I was just telling y'all about, he runs a food program.
We the solution to these problems.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, he was down bad. Guess what he's doing now? Running a program where he gives away food.
Yes, created it.
I mean, but with some kids, the problem don't always stem from my belly's not full. Some of these kids still has a full belly and still struggle because they going through other things that's still tough.
Yep.
I know another kid that he deal with, I call it abandonment issues, because throughout his whole life he never felt nourishment from his mom or anyone. Mm-hmm. That affects him today.
Oh yeah, I bet.
And of course he's a 17, 6-year-old kid, but that eats him up inside. And he don't know how to and that alone can cause him to build up some type of anger inside his body. Mm-hmm. So now whenever somebody does enter his life, he think they're gonna be gone. So so that type of anger, he don't know how to control that emotion. So when he do have some type of emotion behind it, it comes out in anger. It doesn't come out any other way but anger.
There's a 41-year-old kid who's still 17 on the inside because they never dealt with that.
Mm-hmm.
They never addressed the trauma. In our community, we don't discuss counseling enough.
We don't.
And I'm not talking about from your pastor.
No.
I'm talking about going to see a medical professional. Hey, go see somebody. Let me tell you, one of the best decisions I ever made in life was to go sit on that couch. One of the best decisions. And I'm going to tell you, the days I would go up there, I would be fine. I'd be having great days. And when I pull in the parking lot, I would immediately start crying.
Because the one thing there you're saying is, it's going to always be there. You have to learn how to get help to learn how to cope. It's going to always be, no matter down to that kid, no matter what, as long as only way he's going to escape that, I'm not going to say it right there, say it on here, but he has to seek professional help, and someone has to help him because he has to learn how to cope with this. I still deal with my mother's death and don't even know my mother.
We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, and so we have to seek professional help to cope with this. We're going to have bad days. You're going to have bad days, but don't do nothing stupid because you're having a bad day.
And I don't like when people say that, especially adults. You got to keep in mind, 16, 17-year-old kid or 15, 14-year-old kid don't have the mind frame as an adult.
They don't.
But getting
Right.
help,
They don't.
But getting help, seeking professional help, and
So-
helping that
so
child
a
get help
14,
once you
15,
become an
16,
adult.
Once you become an
then,
adult.
Yeah,
but-
once you become
but
an adult.
I'm not concerned about no adult.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the youth.
But there's systems and programs
But then
that
they
help.
become adults.
Yeah, they come and do, but as of right now, I'm talking about the youth and what they go through, not as them when it comes to adult. Because one, the things in life does come different for them as an adult.
So let me tell you why you got to be concerned about the adults as well as the youth, because they're the ones that are over the youth.
Yeah.
No,
And
I'm
the
not, I
man
mean, I,
that
no,
will
I,
pay-
I get that, but what I'm saying though, when you an adult, your options and choices are different when you are a kid.
I agree.
Right.
but we the ones that's
When you're
guiding the
when
children.
you're an adult, you have a way out. When you're a kid, you just have to sit
You
there.
think
have
you
to
do.
sit.
You think you have a
Well,
way
I
out.
mean, you do, but this is the
What's the
thing.
way?
Though.
The different. You got different type of choices.
Some adults are
Exactly.
still
So,
trapped in
Donnie,
that rat trap.
Let me ask you a
Right.
question.
Made.
You all
So,
right.
so if a kid sitting here, a kid only has a couple decisions to make. An adult can make whatever decisions they want to. An adult has a decision to walk out on the kid that's having the problem. They don't have to be there. They'll leave them with the grandma or the grandpa or the aunt or the uncle because they don't want to deal with the kid.
Hey,
Period. Like I said, an adult always has a way out. A kid doesn't.
and you know what? Adults be giving kids bad advice. Because I remember when I used to be angry, I would say something to my uncle. Oh, boy, you just need to get your son.
From a bust,
Hey,
from
the
a
answer was
bust,
get your
from,
son.
from a busted situation.
You hear me? Just get your son. You had some yet? Yo, this is the advice given to a 15-year-old boy ain't had. Hey, and then they tell other men with their beards in their hand, hey, the boy ain't had none yet. Now here I am like, what's up?
That's a true statement, Mr. Foster.
Hey, man, that type of stuff happens, and that's why I say adult, they're stuck, and then they pass that off on to a kid.
They are still, but the choices that they have as an adult, like the choices that I have right now versus my choices my kids have, they don't have the same choices.
No,
that I
they
Not
don't.
at all.
So, if I can maneuver my way out of a situation, a kid brain capacity don't even know how to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
No,
why
they
it's
don't.
different.
That's why
No,
I said.
I
So
agree.
No, they don't.
that will mean what, Donnie? You got a way out if you want it,
Yeah.
because you can maneuver yourself up out of there. You don't have to
yes,
deal with this.
I can maneuver my way out of anything.
Exactly.
Who's supposed to be that maneuver? Who's supposed to be that child's way out, though? Who's supposed to be that child's way out?
The parent.
Okay.
But that's what we're getting.
And
to.
that's where we were talking about some of these kids. A lot of the kids with trouble is they're victims of parenting sometimes.
And the person that has a way out don't choose it or don't know how. That's all he's saying. They either don't choose it or they don't know how because they're stuck, and they never got the proper help.
Yes.
They never got what they needed in order to be better, but they're still human. So what happens to humans is they have some human instinct, and then they have children.
Right.
And so those children, as much as all that they want to give them is love, they don't realize that they
but
need to give them more
to
than
play
that.
devil's advocate with you keep saying the parents supposed to maneuver their way out. That's no different than
No, that's what y'all said.
That's what I said.
Y'all, no. They
No,
just said that the adult has a way out.
no.
Both of them said that, didn't they?
He was like, he's like, well, who does it for the kid? He said the parent.
It's supposed to be the parent.
Okay,
for the
so
kid.
it's also supposed to be the parent that raised the kid right, and that kid still go out there and commit a crime.
That's
So
true.
so what's the difference now?
Yeah, you got it on both sides.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it on both sides. It's not just, it's both sides. I mean, so we're setting up different scenarios because there are many scenarios, but we can only play the part we play, right? We can't help everybody, but we can help somebody. We can help, and not just the kids, but it starts with these kids are gonna be us one day.
I heard a guy say the other day that you'll be amazed at how many people will get out and help you push your car if they see you pushing your car.
That's your boy. That's me.
Toby.
Yeah.
You say it again.
You'll be amazed at how many people will get out and help you push your car if they see you pushing your car. Your car stop on you. You trying to help yourself.
Facts.
Have you ever helped somebody push their car?
I have.
Because you seen that they needed it.
Yep.
A lot of times we don't see that people need the help. 'Cause they just sitting there like the car is
man.
cool.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
You understand me?
Talk about it.
Hey man, sometimes they don't know you need help until you show,
Need help.
bro.
But that
What,
goes
I'm gonna
both.
get out
hold
and
on a
help
minute,
somebody push a car and I think the car's supposed
but
to
that
be
go
moving.
both ways though. Sometimes people will show you they need help, and there's nobody that's still gonna help. I didn't say that oftentimes, but somebody is showing, and some people don't even have the ability to actually open their mouth, but there's signs that they need help, but we overlook those signs
Right.
because they're not outright saying it. That's like with people with mental health issues. They show you signs every day. You just tend to ignore the signs. Everybody's not gonna open their mouth and say, "I need help." That is the world we live in. Everybody is powerful right now, so they're not gonna open their mouth and say, "Hey, I got this going on with me. I have this going on with me." But I got to just open your eyes and look and be concerned.
Which is the same thing I just said, because that person that was pushing their own car, they got out.
Yeah.
So you could see
But that's-
that they needed help.
And even then,
instead of sitting there
and
blowing their
even
horn.
then, there are people who still let that person push their own car.
That's
too.
right.
Yeah.
But eventually
But Donnie,
somebody
to the
gonna
part
come.
you just said, you said they're not going to say it, and they're not, you know, and we have to recognize and see it. But it's hard to push a round peg into a square hole. They have to want.
No, it ain't.
to.
No.
I mean, sometimes,
No.
but sometimes you do.
No.
Sometimes if I ask you, are you okay, and I want to help you, and you say, I'm good, man, leave me alone, because that is there too.
That's
I'm
a typical
guilty of
answer.
Huh?
Again, that's a
I'm
typical
guilty of
answer.
that.
People accept that answer, and they let that be the answer. That's a typical thing for anybody to do. If somebody asks you, "Are you okay?" Majority of people are going to say no, and majority of people is going to back up. Okay, well, they say they fine. That's where you got to dig deeper. You can't take everybody saying they okay that they okay. That's the typical answer for anybody to go through something. Everybody's ain't gonna just flat out say, "Yeah, man, I got this," or "She, I got this."
Hey,
But
but we
sometimes it
make
takes
fun of
time
it.
to build the relationship.
Hey, hold on.
to
We
get
make
that
fun
good.
of it. People cry out, I look at social media all the time, and people are crying out for help on a daily basis with their post.
Right.
They're crying out for it, and I'll tell you, I can't. I was making just a general statement yesterday, but then when I look back at it, it was a cry for help, because I was struggling
Yeah.
and didn't know what to do. Honest to God, I have to look like, yo.
And you recognize it, man. And the call yesterday, because I recognize and I related. I related to the issue. I understood it. Something I was on the book looking, and I read. And because it pressed my heart to call, I called. Because I could relate, and I felt it. And sometimes you don't feel that because there's no connection with people sometimes. What Donnie does, and I'm gonna speak on Donnie real quick. What Donnie does, because Donnie is connected to these children over the years, from my son to your son, to other kids, to my little boy, and to kids all over this community. And his passion is, while we're having this conversation, is because of his passion,
Right.
and his and what he sees, and what he recognizes, and what Donnie has built between young men and young women all through this Northeast Texas, basically, because they come from everywhere. He's built a safe place for them to talk when they're ready, and that's who they will talk to. So you have to respect the body of work, because there's some work that people don't know Donnie do. And Donnie, I want to speak to that, commend you on this because of what you do that people don't know you do, and how you care when people don't know you care. And for those who speak ill against him, you're wrong. You're wrong clear as
You
day,
ain't lying.
because you don't even understand the conversations, the fatigue this man has. This man does a whole lot for a whole lot of kids.
Damn sure do.
He don't have to. He don't
a whole
have
lot
to.
of adults too.
Yeah, he don't have to. He is saving kids' lives when he don't have to, but he does because he cares.
Right.
And I'm gonna speak to it because this is why we're having this conversation, and that's why he is so passionate about this, because he cares. He cares about your kid. And I'm telling you, for those who speak against him, for those who badmouth him, he a man, but he care about your kid.
Well, I mean,
whenever
the
you
thing
get
is,
ready.
I'll be honest with you. When you look like that, you gotta.
You got us.
You
I know
gotta
we're
do
gonna get away
something
from
to
it,
offset.
but it's the truth though. It's the truth. It's the truth, man. I thought Donnie, look at me, Donnie. I thought I cared until I started talking to you. I found that I wasn't doing enough.
But then that's an adult that found help
Right.
and then figured out a way to go back and help others.
Yeah,
which is
I
what.
thought I was doing more. I thought I was doing enough. I wasn't.
Keep doing your part.
Keep doing your part.
Keep doing. Everybody has a part to play.
Right.
Keep doing your part. You don't. I don't have to open up a gym or, my part may be just speaking to kids when I see them. That may be my part. My part may be buying them clothes. That may be my part. My part may be, hey man, let me give you Donnie's phone number. That could be my part.
That could be your part.
Do your part.
Real talk.
Do your part.
Real talk. I mean,
It's good to talk about the struggles of mental health and the struggles that our youth face, because our youth, what does it say? The children are our future. Mm-hmm. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. All of that. We were once the future.
Right.
We were once the youth.
we got to pass the baton now. We gotta be better so they can be better.
I mean, yeah, you right about that. I don't know, man. It just if I was able to share just a small portion of some of the stories that I have to deal with amongst these kids. Everybody when they tissue this morning. And see, like when a kid hit me up and say, "Hey, I need to talk," and of course I don't necessarily care what time of day it is. I'm gonna always answer my phone to a kid, and I add those and other things. It's a different story. But with the youth, I will answer my phone. I don't care what time it is. And some of these stories that I hear, I want to break down. But they ain't the time for me to break down because they need somebody to listen to be strong at the time they're telling their story. If people would actually be concerned themselves enough to actually, hear some of these kids out, they'll have a better understanding. That's all. That's the whole objective of this today's show. Is listening to some of these kids, what they deal with on a day to day, and have a better understanding of these kids. So in order to help somebody, you got to have an understanding.
Right.
You can't help somebody. You can't go buy me some food just because you think I'm hungry. You can't go buy me a blanket just because you think I'm cold. That's not the issue. I got plenty of blankets. I'm not hungry. This is my issue. And if you're not willing to understand the issue, you can't help. Everybody think they know what a kid goes through without them even knowing what the kid goes through. So how can you help a kid when you don't even know their struggle? There's no way you can help a kid. There's no way you can help an adult. You can't help anybody if you don't know the struggle. Money doesn't cure the struggle.
No.
And people
That's
in hip hop,
temporary.
people think that the solution for the struggle is just give them money. No, it's not just money. Because I can tell you a situation with a kid to where he can be living with a whole lot of money. He chooses not to. Because that's not his struggle. His struggle was something else. It was deeper than having, living with somebody that has a whole lot of money. Mm-hmm. That wasn't that kid's struggle. His struggle was something totally different and having to do with money. Money doesn't fix everything.
No.
But again, until people have the desire to actually understand the kid, we can't help a kid until we understand the kid. That is my take on it.
And see, that's what I was getting to earlier. What you just said is when I was saying there were some kids that was living in areas that ain't the other areas that are still having these struggles. Man, a lot of parents will, a lot of parents present money instead of time.
Yeah.
And that is a very big struggle for a lot of people.
We can go on another hour, but talk about creating Donnie, tell people how parents what they need to do to create a safe space for a place where their children can talk.
I mean, like, as far as myself, I don't have the answer to that. how I'm able to do is what I know how to do for myself.
Yeah.
Until how I do seems to work when with kids. I can't really necessarily explain it, but my main thing with is, hey, I'm gonna always say this. You know, we talking about, you talking about, we got to get, what do you say, no therapists, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do
I agree with that.
what do they do for the most part?
For me,
No, not for you. No, in general, like, what do therapists normally do?
Listen.
They listen.
listen.
That's
Oh
it.
yeah, period.
Listen.
Yeah.
They listen, then they go off what you said, and they have their own evaluation on it. But they listen. Again, that's what I said from the very beginning. Nobody wants to listen to our youth. They just want to talk at them, and they want to, we there's only two ways we want to do our youth. We either want to discipline them or talk at them. We don't never want to listen. And to me, until we decide that what these kids go through is worth listening to, they're gonna keep acting out.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. I mean, because again, you can pay how many $1,000 to go talk to a therapist, to talk to them, and it's something, and you can avoid that just by listening.
That started for me as a child. You know how you said you can't throw money at every situation?
Mm-hmm.
In the 4th grade, there was no money thrown at me. You know what it was? It was a redhead, curly redhead white woman named Miss Robinson who gave me a hug every day. That fixed a whole bunch of stuff that was wrong with me. Every day, just a hug. When she saw me, that helped me. I ain't saying that's for everybody. It helped fix a lot of the stuff that was wrong with me. Just a damn hug.
Right.
Somebody who cares.
Bro, it was a hug. That woman hugged me every day. I think I get the best hugs now. When somebody need a hug.
Yeah.
Because of that one. Like, man, I try to transfer my energy off to you.
Right.
Versus you, Trent, because I don't want yours. It might not be right. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you my energy.
And I didn't want to stop y'all earlier. That's why I ain't said much, because y'all was just rolling. It wasn't no need to break it. But earlier, I just wanted to say, when Donnie was talking about like what depression is and what it looks like, sometimes the most happiest face has the most depressed soul.
Ooh.
And that is like for real. And that's personal experience. Like the guy that's always there to laugh, and the guy that's always the joker, and the smiler, and the good mooder.
You better say it.
That's, to me,
Preach the
just
sermon.
from my personal experience, that's what depression look like. And I'm not saying that for everybody, because
it's the sermon, man.
that's not what I'm saying. Cause
Been there.
Yeah, because everybody's struggles look
Been there.
different. But that's just something, as far as me, is from personal experiences and people that I know. To me, that's what that look like in a kid.
For you to say that, one of my favorite photos of myself was my most depressed moment.
I
in
bet.
life.
I believe it.
Hey,
I believe it.
When you said it, I just went back to that moment of.
I believe it.
I looked at that photo, and I swear I would always be like, "Yo, I look really like today." I'm like, I look good right there.
I believe it.
And then I think back to where I was at in that. I
Yeah,
swear,
I'm not saying that telling people to go out and do stuff. Well, I'm saying do it on purpose. But man, tell your kids, kids around you, kids that you coach, kids that your kids play with, kids, tell them you love them. Yeah, like your own. Love on them. Them kids you don't know. If it's impression in your heart, find out, love that kid. Find out. Get in the kid's life if you know them. If you know there's kids that around you that may be going through some situations, step in. Yeah. It might not be a father at home, might not be a mother at home. Step in. Be there. Be there. They'll open the door. I always, she ain't watching, but I tell my wife, I said, you want to get information from our kids, they'll tell you in eventually. Don't ask questions, just let them tell you. Keep loving on them. Talk to them. And all of a sudden, boy, there'll be many conversations with my son that gave me all I need to know driving an hour down the street, but didn't even ask for it. Just gave it to me. Yeah. Just let them, they know they got an ear when they know you're listening when they're able to talk.
And I can't remember which one of y'all said it earlier. There was a parent who it was recently. I can't remember all the details, but I know the child said something to the parent, and the parent went off. It may have been you said this, and I stopped the parent. I was like, "Look, I ain't trying to tell you what to do. What I am saying is, they're not gonna come to you if that's how you react to them opening up to you,
Right.
Yo, because that reaction can let them know I can't do that anymore. Like I can't say that anymore because that's gonna cause this. That's not what I want.
Well, from what you just said, that's why kids go find people like Donnie, right there.
Right there.
Oh well, shit. I'm not finna go home and tell this fool nothing because
they gonna blow up.
It was bad, and I ain't gonna lie to you. That's how I am. Like if you come home with some craziness, Donnie done talk to him, like my oldest son. He done talked to Donnie before when I take him to the gym, and I done told Donnie, hey man. And this ain't because Donnie can parent better than me, but Donnie, you better talk to this dude.
But that's
I done
okay.
Didn't I
But
tell you,
Walt,
Donnie? Donnie, you better talk to him.
I've been there.
Because Donnie told me, nah, don't get him. Hold on, I'm gonna holler at him. And next thing I know, he had a dumbbell over his head for 10 minutes doing this. And he never stopped. Never stopped. And when we left, you know, man, why you tell Donnie about that? Because Donnie was gonna handle it different than me. Because I was gonna probably give you some mental issues and talk crazy to you and say things I regret later. And he sat over here and had to do that and talk to you in this calm, kind of scary voice.
Calm, kind of scary.
Well, we been there.
Yeah.
You know you ain't got time for that.
That's what he do.
Hey, I gave Donnie mine, and Donnie said real stuff. Donnie just speak truth. He was speaking truth to him, like, hey, because our kids think we wrong.
Hey man, I gave Donnie.
They need another voice.
Hey man,
Kids
I
need
gave
another
Donnie
voice.
my son. My son got muscular dystrophy. Donnie got to do up downs. I was like, he
No,
can't. He can't do it.
Hey, check it out.
Donnie said, you don't know what he can do.
When my son was over there doing it, I looked, I said, damn, Donnie done over there doing that one exercise for a long time. Hey, and he looked over there at me like this. Ain't no help.
Hey man, we finna wrap the show, but hey, if y'all would like and share this live feed, and my last words I want to say, hey, just take the time out and listen to the kids, hey, and to take the time to listen to the kids because you never know that one shoulder that they trying to lean on and to cry on or to talk to, you know, they could be the last.
Yeah,
It could be the last. So just listen to the youth. With that being said, man, I appreciate everybody, all of y'all, you know, saying what y'all said up here. I hope everybody that's out here watching, you know, if they're not willing to listen to the youth, maybe they will now.
Right.
And that's the whole objective of doing some of these shows like this, you know, nobody's up here is no doctor. But you ain't got to be a doctor to speak the truth and the real about situations.
Well, I have been called a love doctor.
You a fool.
I like to say that.
Hey,
And since
I read your reviews.
Since I
Dr.
hey,
Pepper.
hey, he got 1 5-star.
I went to
and
Dr.
she was a big girl.
hey,
This is the best show, sports morning show on this side of heaven, because Donnie Mama says, I open the show, it's only right I close
it is right, because my mama said so.